Everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the Watercolour studio. Today it is something completely different. I know I always say that, but really it is quite different this week because there is no painting demonstration. I am merely going to have a sit down with you and a chat and just air a few things that I'm thinking about, a couple of my plans and a few ideas for the future and some exciting news. So let's roll the intro. Let's hear what I've got to say. Welcome back everyone, and as I said right at the start, this week there is no painting demonstration as normal. I may find right at the end a little bit of time to throw a little sketch or something in there for you to enjoy right at the end of this video if it doesn't go on too long, but if it does and there isn't one, please forgive me. I just wanted to have the chance to sit down and to talk to you face to face, as it were, as my audience here on YouTube, and just go over a few things that I've got going on, a few thoughts that I have, a few desires that I would like to work on, and also some great news that's happening to me in my gallery, my studio, and my life as a painter. Now, those of you who've followed me for many years, since I really started doing my YouTube channel back in 2019, well, no, when I first started it, I was doing videos on all different media: oils, watercolors, pencil, charcoal drawing, and pastel. And I really love that because I was always taught to make myself aware of all the different mediums at my disposal and do my utmost to learn them and understand them so that I can turn from one to the next with ease and do that. Now that is also why I have been teaching for, I don't know, 25 years or more, and because that learning curve allowed me the experience to be able to talk to anybody else out there, and it didn't matter what medium they were working in, I could help them out. And at the same time, I used to work for many art companies out there. I've demonstrated for Staedtler, Liquitex, Winsor & Newton, Daler Rowney, and I've done these things with ease in the past, and I've done a lot of demonstrations to art groups ever since. So it really empowered me as a painter to be able to impart information to other people, whoever they are and wherever they are. And those again who know me well or have followed my time on YouTube and other social media will also know that I have a physical gallery in a town nearby to where I live in Hythe, and I've been there over 12 years now. Yeah, over 12 years. I had to think about that. But there I have taught groups of people on a Wednesday for all that time, and I teach up to 24 students, and I really, really enjoy that. And it was a few years ago when I decided that, you know, I needed to do more. It's all well and good teaching 24 people, but what if I could actually reach out to so many more people around the world? And that's when I got the idea to take my very meager little YouTube channel, as it was back then in 2019, and just really work on it and start to do demonstrations for people that they could enjoy, work along to, and get something from, and in their own artistic endeavor. So that's really what my YouTube was about. And I in the first year or so, it was great. I was doing all of these demonstrations. I even did some live streams and all that, and some of you may well remember those. And it became apparent that the channel wasn't really growing very fast, and I realized when I sort of studied and looked at all the information that people were talking about, the one thing that kept coming up all the time was I had to niche down. I couldn't keep doing videos on all these different medias, all this different subject matter, you know, landscape, plein air, wildlife, oils, pastels, whatever it was. It's just too much, and I was only doing one video a week, and at that time, so I reluctantly, have to say, it was a reluctant decision, but I narrowed it down just to doing watercolor. And since then, the support the channel's got has been great. It's not been as good as some people. Some people just fly away. That doesn't matter. It's the quality of the subscriber that really counts for me. And my channel is growing week in, week out, month on month, and year upon year. And to all of you who do subscribe to my channel, I really thank you for the support that you show me. And in all honesty, the support wouldn't, if I didn't get the support, I wouldn't be doing it. So that's the nut, that's the whole thing. There's no point in creating work that nobody wants to look at or enjoy or interact with you on. Anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to say that I then thought, well, let's do my oils on a second channel. So I created a new channel a couple of 3 years ago, and it really didn't work out. I don't know whether it was that I couldn't do enough on it. I was so tied up at the time doing watercolor videos. I was also well into my Patreon, and I was creating a lot of work for different tiers on my Patreon, and that was really it. And I just didn't have a lot of time. Now, as time has gone on, I've shaved the Patreon down a little bit. I now do two exclusive, well, one almost exclusive, one totally exclusive each month for the two tiers that remain on there. But it's allowed me a little bit more time to think about things. And in recent months, I changed my oil channel to a mobile studio channel, because that allows me to do a bit of oil, bit of watercolor, but also travel in my mobile studio, which some of you will already know is a T4 VW camper called Clarabelle. And I enjoy my little journeys out there and doing the painting, which I get to enjoy and bring you guys along for the trip and journey and show you the processes involved with that. So that's my second YouTube channel, and it is growing. And I'm going to put a little plug in here. If you're not a subscriber to both of the channels, shame on you. Please subscribe to the one that you're not. Well, if you're watching on this one, you probably are a subscriber. If you're not subscribed to this one, and that means you may not be a subscriber to the other one, so subscribe to that one too. That would be fantastic. And always click the like button and click that bell icon. Early plug out the way. Anyway, I digress. I'm off topic. But the thing was that I very quickly got to the point where not only was I not painting wildlife information anymore, but I also wasn't doing a great deal of oil painting anymore. And I can't remember the last time I actually got my pastels out and did some pastel work, which is a great shame. But time doesn't allow. I mean, I have a gallery, which takes up half my week. But during that time I'm down there, I'm actually editing and doing stuff for you guys on YouTube. So I would say that something like 80% of my week is YouTube related, filming, editing, and putting the stuff out there for you to enjoy, both on this channel and the other channel. And when I am here, I'm filming for the channels as well. So I don't get a lot of time to do paintings for myself anymore. Now, I'm not actually moaning too much about that. I really enjoy creating content anyway. But there is, in a nutshell, the problem. I realize that I am now an artistic content creator. I'm not creating art, if that makes any sense. I sort of woke up and realized, because I've had a few commissions come in lately, and a couple of those have been wildlife commissions, and I've executed them and I've done them, and I really had a ball. I really got involved with it. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I felt that I need to do more of this, and my family, my wife particularly, good friends, and many clients keep on at me. And I don't just mean recently, I've talked about the last few years. They've kept on at me constantly. I must not stop painting wildlife. And I have all but done just that and stopped painting wildlife. Do the odd watercolor bird, the odd watercolor something else, but I haven't really done anything serious for a long time. So I really want to do that again. But in doing that again, it means to say that some things have got to give, because there's only so many hours in a week or in a day. And to do wildlife properly, it takes a good deal of time, a good chunk of time to do it and enjoy it and get the best out of me to put onto canvas for whoever ends up buying that painting. So that's one aspect of what I wanted to quickly talk about. The other thing is the bit of news that I wanted to give you. Now, I mentioned already the gallery. Now, the gallery, we've had a fantastic turnaround of events. The gallery is doing extremely well since we've come out of lockdown and everything else, and it's slowly progressed and doing better and better. And the student numbers each week have grown almost to maximum. On top of that, there was a little part of my shop that was always unavailable to me until recently, until the occupier moved on, and that became free. And it's always been part of my gallery. In the distant past it was, and it's now going to be again. It's already happening. The builders were in there on Monday, and they're already altering things. The little connecting blockage that connected the arches, and I will show you that at some point during the course of this video. The arches are being transformed so that they run all the way through, and we've always done framing but from a back workshop. Now we're able to bring our framing operation to the shop itself, and we can offer that on a much more positive note to people within the district and in the area who want framing doing. So really excited about that, and it's been brewing for a little while, but it's now actually happening. I'm also training, or one of my framers is training a new assistant that they will then work the frame shop together. And we're also going to be doing some, we hope we're going to be doing some copying, some stuff for artists to create copies of their work, as well as scanning, all these things, photocopying, the whole thing. We're going to try and do as much of that in the town as we can. So lots and lots happening. And the thing is that I can't do all of that and do all of this and do everything else on the painting side with what time I've got. It's just physically can't happen. So part of this chat is to let you know that I will be sort of a little bit scanty with some of the videos that I'm putting out over, certainly up to Christmas. I'm still going to be creating, still going to be doing videos, but they may be a little hit and miss. This Friday at 3 p.m. that you've always enjoyed and count upon, that I've always done a video for that time each week, that is going to sort of take a little dive. It's going to I'm not going to be able to make that each week. I do apologize, but please stay with the channel if that's the case. It's not that I'm going away. I'm just trying to do so many things at the moment, and I have to create certain things. I can't physically do it with the time that I've got. So enough on that. But that's the great news happening to the gallery. But in my own life as an artist, I also want to get back to doing some wildlife work in oils. I really have missed it, and these few commissions that I've done recently and squeezed in there, it's just made me show me what I've been missing all this time. And I see friends of mine that we're always chatting, they've just gone off to Africa and they're getting more reference. I so miss all of that. Anyway, that's for another day. But so what am I going to be talking about now? Well, the thing is that there's so much going on in my head. I'm trying to get it out to you guys. We've talked about the gallery. We've talked about my need to do wildlife art. So what's happening with the channels and everything else that I'm doing? Well, I also earlier this year created a course in watercolor, painting skies. Some of you are on that course, and I follow your progress, and that's fantastic. And anyone who hasn't heard about it, I will give you the details during the course of this, but they'll also be in the show more tab underneath this and other videos. But there is a course on what is a Podia site, my second website, Podia site, that has got all my interactive, as it were, videos, downloadable content, stuff you can buy outright and own forever, and also my course. On top of that, there's also an awful lot of free content. Now, this free content, all you've got to do is come on, subscribe to the channel or to the Podia, and get involved with that. You become part of the audience, and you get emails from me and updates when I have time to do one, but you do. but you have access to all this information. And if you want to buy into the course that's there right now, you can do that too. And you can also buy into a couple of standalone films that I've done and put up there for a few dollars. You can just buy one of those and it's yours forever, as it were. I want to concentrate on doing more of that as well. And I have my Patreon, which is one thing. I have my 2 YouTube channels. That's fine. They tick along. And I have my Podia site, which is also coming on a lot more these days. I have been working on a new course, a second course. It's all about a beginner's guide to ink and wash. It was always only meant to be a few hours or a couple of hours or so of tuition for £47, quite inexpensive. But as time went on, I just kept adding more lessons to it. So it's actually quite a long course now, but the price is still £47. So if you want to get involved with that one, it was meant to have been launched at the beginning of August. Unfortunately, time hasn't allowed the final tweaks and written stuff to go in place. I'm working on it as hard as I can. I hope that it will be out on sale on my Podia within the next fortnight, certainly no later than that, sooner if possible. But if you are interested in that course, then I will put a pre-sale notice out on my Podia, or you can let me know in the comments if you want to get involved with that. I can let each and every one of you know when it's there, or you get advice if you come onto my Podia and you want to pre-buy it. There's no obligation to actually buy it when it comes out, but you will be first in line to get it. So you can come on there and I think it's called a pre-launch, but look out for that and go on the Podia site, Paul Apps Artist /Podia, or go through via my website, go onto courses, you'll get to it that way as well. So look out for that, and I'd love to have you on that new course. I think you'll find it a great interest. I've looked at all the different ways that you can approach the subject of ink and wash and the procedures and different ways, and show you how I go through different things and all the materials that you can want to buy if you want to buy, and how you can get in it quite inexpensively, or you can go the whole hog like I've done and buy way too much stuff. But it's there for you to enjoy, and it's only going to cost you £47. That's that plug over with as well. But let's just talk very quickly about audiences and community, because the thing for me is that when I sit here and do a YouTube demonstration, and I've filmed it and I've talked about the processes, I edit it, and some of it is always to music, as you well know, because it would be far too long as a long form content in that way if I didn't shorten it. But the thing is that it's just me talking while I'm doing that. I would love to have so much more interaction with my audience, you guys. I know I get a certain amount of comments. I get a very small percentage compared to those who view the channel, but I love reading those, and I'll always answer those. I don't think over the years I've missed too many, but I do endeavour to answer everything that I can with something worthwhile, and that is important to me. That building of a relationship with a community, with an audience, it's really powerful. And to me, I don't need to have 300,000, 500,000 subscribers. Would be nice, but I don't need them. I'd rather have a core of people who really work with me, interact with me, enjoy my content, get something from it, and we can feed each other in that way. A lot of subjects that I create during the course of each week, I've done so through suggestions and requests from people that have come on and said, would you do something on this? Would you do that? And I've done it in due course. I've done it, and I've helped that out. So yeah, I think that comments is one thing. That's fantastic. I may even kick up the community tab properly on each of my YouTube channels. But moreover, I have this channel on my Podia site. It's part of my website. It's a different platform, but the thing is, it's a completely safe platform. I have had a community trying to build one for a long, long time on Facebook, but so many people get a little worried about the security relating to Facebook. It can be hacked, it can be this, it can be that. Whereas my Podia site has a lot of security encryptions, and will be safe, and that's the thing. So you can get involved with that. It's a very, very private thing. In other words, it's only open to people who subscribe to my place at that point, and you get access to different levels. It depends whether you have bought something. If you bought onto the Sky course, for instance, you have access to everything else that's free, also your Sky course. If you've bought into something else that you've bought and paid for, you have a community around that, but you have the bigger umbrella community around everything that's there and free. You don't even have to download any of the content to look at it, free or otherwise. You can still join and get involved with the community as a whole and ask questions about painting. You can put your work up and say, Paul, what do you think of this? Do you think I should have done that? If I see it, which I try and get regularly to do, I'll answer it. Of course I will. I don't get to see them all. Time doesn't allow me to get to see them all. But the idea of the community there is to allow everybody to interact with everybody else. It's not just about me, captain of the ship as it were, interacting with each individual put something up. It could be you put something up and Fred Blogs from down somewhere else who's seen that likes it and puts a comment in there and says, why, if you did that, or it would be this, or it would do that, or you ask, what pen do I need? And someone else says, well, I use this pen. And that's how, for me, a community works. It's like-minded people working together in harmony, as it were, if you want to put it like that. I'm not trying to make it gushy, but it's just a great way of people talking to each other and learning as a general thing. And that's why I built this community, or am building this community around the work that I do, around my art, around my tuition, around my classes. And eventually I will have a couple, I'm working on it at some point, that I'm doing a couple of academies on there, one for oil, one for watercolour. They are still taking an awful lot of work to do, and I seem to be spinning plates all over the place right now, and they've taken a little bit of back seat, but I am planning those for maybe 2024 or sooner if I can get them off the ground. But they are all, again, places that communities will work. The whole community will work around all of these things, and inside that there will be little communities based around the academy, are based around the oil academy, are based around one of the courses that people are on, another course, all of the courses. It doesn't matter, you have access to the whole thing. I am digressing, I am rabbiting on, but what I'm trying to say is that community to me is really, really important. It's not tons of numbers, which fantastic if you've got 100,000 people in your community that are all active. That would be awesome. But even 1,000 of you out there that are really active in that community, that would be awesome too. And I would love to have that thing to happen to my communities within Podia, or on YouTube, wherever, on my Instagram. It's another place. It doesn't matter where they are, but I'm trying to build the private one, the real secure one, within my Podia site. And you can access that either through Paul Apps Artist Podia, or indeed via my normal website, which is paulappsfineart.com. Lots of information. So where does that leave us? Well, you're probably asleep by now, I'm sure. And if you're still with me, you need a medal. And I'm sorry that there's not been a demonstration this week, but I felt that I needed to have this sit-down chat with you, at least so that you understand that if you don't get a video every week and that deadline is missed, maybe 1 or 2 times, may even be more than that, until certainly up to Christmas, then you'll understand that I haven't gone away. I've just been extremely busy doing stuff, and I will try and slot videos in, even if it's not Friday at 3 o'clock, it will be at some point. So stay with that, stay with the channel. Please subscribe to both of them if you would, and look out for that new course. I will let you know when it's out there. I will also be doing a lot more oil painting with wildlife and maybe some watercolor versions. It's that, to me, is what I really want to get back to as well. Don't want to stop everything else, certainly not stopping my plein air. Love doing my watercolor landscapes and all the other abstract stuff that I do, love all of that, but I really want to get back to doing some good solid wildlife painting in oils or watercolor, mainly oils. And I will probably film some of those and put them out on my Podia as single downloads. They will be several hours in length, and you'll be buying the whole package, every brushstroke, all my narration, all my thoughts, and the procedures to create that wildlife subject, whatever it might be. And you'll be welcome to then buy that as a mini course or as a mini download, whatever it might be. So that's where I'm taking that. So yeah, I'm still giving myself a lot of work, and I've got to sort of like compartmentalize everything that I do, or else I'm just going to burn out. And I know I see tons of people, tons of videos out there, week in, week out, avoiding burnout. I burned out, this, that, and the other. I've come close to being really so bogged down I don't know where to turn for the next thing. If that's burnout, then okay, I've burned out on occasions, but generally I don't believe in burnout. I just believe in you just got to sit back, rationalize, deal with it, and move forward. And I think that's sound advice, whether you're doing painting like me or whether you're doing painting as a hobby. You can always come up against a brick wall and think, oh, I can't do this anymore. Yes, you can. You just step back from it, take a little relax, do something else for a couple of weeks, and then move straight back in where you were before and carry on with it with renewed vigor and renewed vision. And I suppose you can adapt that philosophy for whatever you do in life. You don't have to be a painter or an artist. You can be whatever. It doesn't matter. Writer, musician, doesn't matter. You can take that same approach. It's not a case of burnout. It's a case of sit back, settle down, rationalize it, deal with it, come back, move forward. Anyway, enough on that. I'm not lecturing. So, I'm sorry it's gone on so long, and I really, really do appreciate your input. To me, above everything else, your input, your kindness and support of not only this channel, but my other channel, my mobile studio. Indeed, if you follow me on my Instagram or even on my Pinterest, which I don't actually do too much on, but any of those things, especially my website or my, more importantly these days, my Podia site. Many of you have come on and subscribed to my channel on Podia, and you're getting all that free content, and some of you bought into the course and the downloadable things that are on sale as well. Whatever it is, I thank you for it. And I think that what you're going to see in future from it is both my channels. You're going to see a lot more work around my Podia, where you're invited to join for free or indeed buy something if you want to learn even more and get a lot more from me. But moreover, get involved with those communities. Get involved as the audience on Podia or on the communities if I do that on YouTube. Love to have you there. Love to have your insight, your thoughts and comments. So please keep them coming. I'll answer them. And before the last of you go to sleep, I'm going to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Thank you for indulging me. I'm not saying that this won't be the last of this sort of video. Once in a while, I think having a good clear out of the closet and just seeing what you've got to throw out and change and dust off and carry on with, I think doesn't do any of us any harm. And that's precisely what I've done today. And I wish each and every one of you all the best. Happy painting wherever you are. Enjoy what you do. Catch you all in the next video very, very soon. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, get involved with my free stuff over on my Podia. There's a lot more over there you'll want to see and get involved with, and you've only got to put your email there, and you never know, you may want to buy something that really helps you out even further. In the meantime, I'm going to sign off before I put myself to sleep. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. I say nothing ever goes to plan. I thought I was recording this little study for you guys to enjoy at the end of the film, and I just looked up and realized I hadn't recorded anything. So I've done all of this so far for myself, entertaining myself, but hopefully you can enjoy what's happened. I put on a base layer of a pale violet and then a little bit more red into it. This is a scene from a place called the Hwanep in Namibia. It's a dry river basin that I'm standing on during the course of taking this picture. There's some beautiful deadfall. This is the huge set of mountains in the background, or hills, massive hills, little bit of scanty tree growth. And if you go back to the point of the video where I was talking to you, on the wall behind me to my left, you'll notice a picture of an oryx on the wall in a frame, and that was taken just off to one side here, and I did the painting based on the Hwaneb, which this is all part of an extensive river system running through Namibia. And when this floods, you can see how deep it is, you can see how high this tree is from the photograph, and that was carried down on the torrents of water that come rushing through here after the annual rains. Right, let's carry on anyway before I do something else wrong. I'm going to come in with some reds now. It's a little bit of ochres, the raw and the yellow, and I'm just going to come in here and sort of suggest the reflected light on the underneath of this big old limb, and put some in here as well. Now I'm going to leave that for a minute, come back to a slightly smaller number 5 round, and pick up some Viridian in here, just mix some of that out. This is fresh paint, so you can see it's leaving little lumps. Make sure you mix all of those down before you carry on. A little bit of aureolin into that. Just come in here and suggest an extra bit of green on some of this, just to liven up this area. Now remember, if you want this to remain really dark, you're going to have to make it quite a thick mix. Don't come in with a wishy-washy watery mix, because it will just fade off, and you're going to have to do it again, and possibly even again after that. I think we're pretty much good to go on there. Just a suggestion that some other colours in there, quite dark up on there. Of warmth to one side, and a little bit, it's probably, I don't know, another piece of trunk that's sort of laying into the sand itself, breaching over the top of the edge of the bank itself. Now I'm going to be careful because I need some fine lines. Let's come back to our rigger. Let's put 1 or 2 marks in like this. So last on this area then is just going to come across here with the darkness on this part of the tree through there. Maybe some more tint into that. And I've got a couple of very fine little wisps of branches that are sticking up in the air at this point. Because what I want to quickly do is add some detail and texture into this foreground. So I'm going to come back in. This time I'm going to use some raw sienna into the grungy old mix that I've got going on there. And I just want to come in and suggest some lovely bits of broken shadow, cast shadow from this bush in the foreground. That helps that out an awful lot. I've got to bring a little bit of shadow down here, which I'm going to extend that a little bit. I can bring that down a little bit more. I think we're done. It is just a little bit of fun, a little bit of Africa, a little bit of Namibia for you, and hopefully if you stay watching to my channel, subscribe to as much as you can, that would be awesome, and I will have a lot more of Africa in future videos if that's something that you enjoy watching. I certainly enjoy painting it, and I certainly enjoy visiting it, got to be said. Alright, there we are. Happy painting, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Take care. See you all in the next one. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.